You know, the story we're all being told is that the march towards an AI singularity is pretty much unstoppable. But what if it's about to slam into a massive, human-sized roadblock? Today we're talking about something I call the Great AI Wall.
And it all kicks off with this one, kind of dramatic question, a real paradox right at the heart of the AI revolution. Why is the world's most powerful intelligence engine, this thing we all see as basically infinite, suddenly running on a fuel tank that seems to be shrinking?
And this really captures the tension perfectly. Okay, so on one hand, the cost for you and me to use AI in our daily lives, what the pros call inference, has just plummeted. We're talking an incredible 280-fold drop. But on the other hand, the cost to actually build these new models is exploding. The computing power needed is doubling every 5 months. So wait, how can both of those things be true at the same time?
Well, that brings us to the first part of our story. You could call it the and phase. It's the narrative we all know, right? The one we hear every single day, the unstoppable, infinite boom of artificial intelligence.
At the heart of this boom is a really simple but really powerful idea. It's this core belief that's driving billions of dollars of investment. Just add more data, plus more compute, and that will inevitably equal artificial general intelligence, or AGI. Honestly, it's treated less like a theory and more like a law of physics.
And you can see why. I mean, the progress is just stunning. We're not just talking about simple chatbots anymore. According to the Stanford AI Index, these models are already showing off some seriously sophisticated mathematical reasoning, solving problems that require multiple, complex, logical steps.
And the progress is it's exponential. Get this. In a single year, AI performance on a really tough coding benchmark, it's called WSE Bench, it shot up from just 4.4% to an absolutely astounding 71.7%. That's not just a small improvement, that is a total paradigm shift.
And all of this creates this feeling, this relentless optimism, and has a name, the digital sprint. It's this widespread belief that technological progress is totally frictionless, it's infinite, and that in a lot of ways, the race has already been won.
But here's the thing. Every boom has a limit. And this is where the foundation starts to show some serious cracks. We've officially reached the butt of our story, the exact moment when the bedrock of this AI revolution starts to look and feel a lot more like sand.
So what is the Great AI Wall? Well, it's this idea that there's a rapid collapse of what we call the data commons. You know, that huge open web of high-quality, human-generated stuff that AI has been feasting on for years. Now suddenly, it's being locked up, it's being sold off, or even worse, it's being polluted.
And believe me, this isn't some far-off future problem. It is happening right now. A recent study found that the amount of restricted data in a major training set just jumped from a 7% baseline to a staggering 33% in a single year. The well is drying up way faster than anyone thought possible.
There's a perfect analogy for this from the complexity scientist Geoffrey West. Think about it. During the Industrial Revolution, we switched from a sustainable energy source, the sun, to finite fossil fuels. Well, in the AI revolution, we're doing the same thing. We're switching from the external, reliable source of human data to an internal and deeply unreliable source, AI-generated data.
And this forces AI into this really dangerous feedback loop. We're calling it the self-consumption paradox. This is the point where the engine, just to stay alive, literally starts eating itself.
Now, the technical term for this is model collapse. It's a real, scientifically observed thing. It happens when models are trained on synthetic, AI-generated content. You could call it digital smog. They start to forget things, they amplify their own mistakes and biases, and eventually they can suffer what's called a total ruin of their ability to reason.
And this right here is the terrifying part. It creates something called a non-ergodic risk. Now, in simple terms, that's a one-way street. It is a point of no return. A single systemic failure in our data ecosystem could permanently damage the potential of all future AI models that are built from it. And there's no way to go back.
I mean, just look at a diagram like this. You don't have to understand all the specifics to see how incredibly complex these systems are. They're like these finely tuned instruments, right? They require pristine, high-quality data to work properly. So, what do you think happens when we start feeding them a steady diet of their own recycled AI-generated exhaust?
Okay, so if the and was the boom and the but was the wall, we now get to the therefore. And the conclusion of all this, it isn't the end of AI. It's actually the beginning of what you might call a human revolution.
This leads us to a whole new kind of currency, proprietary sovereignty.
See, in the next decade, the winner isn't going to be the company with the biggest model. No way. The winner will be the one with exclusive access to high-quality, authentic human data that you just can't find anywhere on the open web.
And this quote right here is key. It basically reframes human stories. They're not just anecdotes anymore, they're a form of high-quality, structured data. Our experiences, when they're captured, well, that's exactly the kind of fuel that AI is now absolutely starving for. Which means these are the new premium assets of the information age. Proprietary datasets, they're the new oil fields. Lived experience, those war stories from your career, your niche human expertise. These are things that AI cannot just make up. They have to be sourced from us.
And that leads us to our final conclusion, which, well, it might actually surprise you. The AI revolution isn't making humans obsolete.
It's doing the exact opposite. It's making our unique, our messy, our authentic human experiences not just valuable, but truly invaluable.
So I'll just leave you with this one last thought to chew on. In a world that is about to be absolutely flooded with infinite synthetic content, what is the real, tangible value of your story?